What's up, everybody? Welcome to Bios3 Raw TV. Fix this fucking camera angle. Today we're going to talk about caloric reduction. Now, someone posted on one of my videos that they would always question, and this is important because people don't listen to their instincts enough. They'd always question the calories in, calories out deal, because they said, assuming that you're not at the place where you want to be weight-wise or body fat-wise, isn't it feasible that you could wind up eating 800 to 1,000 calories? Now, interesting question, right? How come nobody ever poses these questions? I don't see many people on YouTube or Facebook or anything addressing this. What they say is like, well, if you did it right, then you shouldn't have to be. And if now the big thing, the huge thing now for this is you pad your calories in your off season. Well, first of all, what if you're not a competitive athlete? There is not an off season. They now tell you to pad your calories and to essentially do a reverse diet out of no diet, which just makes you fatter. And the higher your body fat goes, the more calories you're eating, so that you can reduce your calories without having to reduce them too far later on. Now, the flaws with this method, I mean, just are fucking far too many to cover in one video. But in essence, the person asking that question is right. There are many people out there that are not losing weight through the caloric deficit that they actually should by the numbers. And there's a reason for that, because the metabolism changes, okay? Thyroid reduces, cortisol levels go up, insulin levels can go up if you're eating foods that are spiking your insulin levels too much. There are so many things that take place during muscle loss. Catabolism can take place because you're in this caloric deficit. There's all kinds of things that can take place that will stop that caloric deficit from working the way that you want it to work, or theoretically the way it should work by the numbers on paper. So real life and paper sometimes don't jive with each other. So what does one do? They keep cutting calories, like you're supposed to do. As long as you're in a caloric deficit, you're going to lose fat. Not necessarily just fat. It could be weight, which includes muscle, which is a whole other ballgame. But as you reduce those calories, your metabolism slows down if you're doing a caloric deficit. Now, once your metabolism has slowed down, your new baseline, basal metabolic rate, baseline metabolism is lower. So you're eating less calories. So yes, there are a lot of people that go very low calorie, and then all of a sudden there's nothing left to cut, and they still haven't gotten to their goal. Why? Because their metabolism is slowed faster than their body can pull that body fat off and make up that caloric deficit. The body's not dumb. It's not going to allow you just to keep reducing calories a little bit at a time, and all of a sudden you're just going to keep getting leaner. Now, getting back to the whole padding your calories in the off season. Okay, let's say there is no off season. I have had people come to me and hire me after training with these trainers talking about padding your calories. And these people have gained up to 20 pounds of body fat. Now you're trying to tell me the fastest way from one place to another is a straight line. You're trying to tell me the squiggliest fucking map line out in the middle of nowhere is going to get you to where you want to be 5 years from now? Oh, it's going to take a couple of years of you going up and cutting down and going up and cutting down. So you're going 3 steps forward, taking 1 step back. And when you stagger a step like that and gain the weight and come back down, eventually you're going to be able to get to your goal eating a higher amount of calories. And I'm sitting there going, if someone told you it would take you 5 years to get to the fucking top of the mountain, are you going to get fucking discouraged halfway up? Probably. Okay, nobody wants to spend 5 years trying to attain a goal that other people are attaining in 12 to 16 weeks. And they're seeing it happen over and over again. And they're like, why can't I do that? Well, we're going to do it like this. Well, no wonder why people get discouraged, fall off track, and gain more fat. Because you're telling them it's going to take fucking years instead of months to get to their goal, and you're misleading them under the guise of the fact that you think you know metabolism, you think you know about diet, you think you know about this shit. You produce 1 out of every 30 people results-wise that it actually works for. And many, many other people buy into your bullshit because they're fat and lazy to begin with. And they're more than happy to get fatter so they can get leaner later on. And this is what happens. They actually get fatter, and then when you go to make that cut, it's even harder. Because now you have to cut the fat that you just fucking gained on top of the fat that you wanted to lose in the first place. So you see, calories in, calories out can work to a certain point. And I do believe that people that are heavier, which these fucking studies were done on people with higher body fat, not people that are trying to get in shape for a bodybuilding show and stuff like that. That's how the diet begins. Caloric restriction. There's no reason for somebody who's 5'5" and weighs 130 pounds to be eating 550 grams of fucking carbohydrates. If you're not some kind of fucking endurance athlete or some kind of high performance athlete, the average person working a fucking desk job, or even if that's not a desk job, they're fairly active, do not need that many carbohydrates. You got them telling people to eat 100 grams of fat on top of that. Okay, then you got them pushing the protein, which the protein needs are about what they need to be, but if the protein needs are met, you get all this caloric energy that is basically either going to be burnt or stored. It's not going to be just fucking dissolved into thin air because you don't need it. And they're telling them, let's just keep pushing, let's keep pushing, let's keep pushing. Yes, you're going to get fat. And yes, you're going to have issues. And yes, if you cut calories too fast, the body can actually, let's say you're cutting, here's your body, here's calories. As you're cutting calories, the body weight goes down. Cutting calories, the body weight goes down. If you cut the calories and your metabolism slows down faster, the body weight may not go down. You cut them too fast, it starts to slow down. It starts to adjust, and you start to lose less weight. More and more you lose less weight. Is that more and more you lose less weight as time goes on, as your metabolism adjusts, your thyroid goes down, all these different things metabolically happen to the point where you're not able to produce energy as easy, and the metabolism slows. Now you have a point where you're stuck. You reduce the calories again a little bit, you get a little bit of a drop. You say, well, I decrease them more. You drop them more, now you don't get a bigger drop. It's not in the same proportion as the small drop. Why? Because you've gone too far and the body can't compensate as fast and realizes there's too much of a caloric deficit. I need to slow this down a little bit because we need to survive. That's how that whole thing works. So I hope this sheds a little bit of light on you guys. Shut this fucking message off. I hope this sheds a little bit of light on you guys, the whole caloric restriction and what eventually is going to happen and why this is happening when you guys are doing it. And also the whole padding your calories thing. Man, go ahead and look at these people. These people that are talking about padding their calories, you got a coach who fucking stays lean all the time, who doesn't eat the calories that you're talking about, who's fairly, been around for a while, been training his ass off for fucking 25 years, telling people that have just entered the fucking gym, who don't train more than 3 days a week, who are already fucking fat and considered obese and have a huge body mass index, to eat more carbs and get fat. Go look at the fucking people before you decide that's the route for you to go. Take some time, do some research. Don't take a word for it. Look at pictures. Look at results. Judge for yourself. biostraining@gmail.com. Leave comments down below, but don't fight. www.biostraining.com is the blog, and it's the caloric restriction bicep, and we're out.